Welcome everyone to Big Tony's Garage and Metalworks. In today's episode, we are going to paint the floor. I have one of those Torpedo by Kerosene, right? So I'm gonna use that to warm the inside of the Nova. The good thing is that I already took the interior out, so it's down to the bare metal, except for the back you recline on is the only thing that's on there. And I'm going to use it to heat up the metal because this PR15 that I bought, it's got to be the temperature like 70 degrees is like the top or the best weather, if you will, to apply it. And I don't want to wait till the summer or the spring. I want to do it now. And as you can see, it's a very sunny day. It's a beautiful day. It's gorgeous out here, except for the temperature. And we have one of those Arctic blasts that we had. Yesterday was actually colder, and the day before is even colder than that. But today it's like 14-15 degrees, but it's nicer than it was before, and it's not windy at all, so that's actually a positive plus, a plus big time. So I just bundled myself up, and I'm going to move one of my vehicles back so I could pull out the Nova outside and I can see what I'm doing. And today's video is gonna be going in there and cleaning it some Windex, and then once I Windex the whole thing out and make it, I'm only gonna clean the spots that are rusty, because this thing, as the more I hear from the forums that I've gotten, this PR15 you're supposed to use like etching chemical that comes with it if you buy a different kit than the one that I got. But the more I read, the more I find out, and I don't know if it's true or not, but if you clean it enough that it's well, and as long as it's not new steel, that it would adhere to it. And I'll show you, and then we'll go from there. So let me move some stuff around and then I'll come back to you, okay? I took more of it off. You're supposed to, because when I read it, you're supposed to have some in there so it could hold on, some teeth for it to hold on. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to, you can see I sprayed the floor here, and you can see how some of that rust just came right off. It was just right on top, surface rust, if you will. I did find a hole over there by the driver's side, by the pedal, a little tiny pinhole that I'm gonna fill in with the welder. So I turned the welder on, and I'm gonna show you right now. I'm just cleaning this part of the floor here, and then I'll move on to the other side, and then I'll make sure to start putting that PR15. I have to turn this contraption on, the Torpedo, to warm up the floor, because like I said, it is 25 degrees, so this has to be at least 50 or 60 degrees, I would say. So I'll bring you back, okay? Alright, boys and girls, I decided to hit this with a flapper disc. As you can see, you see some metal surfacing up on there. So I'm going to clean it with glass cleaner, and then I'm going to wipe everything down again on this side. Do that other side over there. And then I'll start painting. But you can see that it's not a lot of rust at the same time. This metal has to be protected. You'll start getting flash rust, but that's fine because that PR15 works well with that flash. It's got to be really clean. And then I'll come back and I'll hit it with that stuff, okay? Alright, watch me now. Alright, boys and girls, so I put this Torpedoes on. Hopefully it doesn't damage and melt the dashboard. But you can see the windows are already fogged up, so it's doing its job and it's heating up the floor. I have that door closed. I'm gonna close this one for a little bit, and I'm gonna go stir up the paint machine with the grinder. And I use like 130 grit on it. And you can see I took a lot more out of it, and out of the rust, a lot less of it. I cleaned these pockets too on both sides, and I'm gonna let this metal get warm a little bit. I'm gonna go stir up the paint, and I'll be right back. Peace. All right, so I'm here with the Nova here. I'm heating up the inside of this car, keeping a close eye that it doesn't overheat. I don't catch anything on fire. It is warm in here. I have one of those temperature sensors, but I don't know specifically where it's at. Just to see how much I can warm the inside of this floor. It's kind of cozy in here now. But I'm gonna wait another 10 minutes when it gets a little bit warmer, and then I'm going to open this can up, shake and not stir it like 007. You're not supposed to shake this, you're supposed to stir it. Okay, so I'm gonna find myself a utensil, a stick of some sort, so that I could stir it properly, and then I have my brush right here, and I'll start on this side. I'm only gonna hit the stuff that's rusty, and I'm not gonna hit the black, because I heard that it flakes off if you put it on top of paint. It doesn't work well, but it'll work on that right there, and the little bit of surface that I have here. I'll hit the shiny stuff, right, and it'll be fine. Okay, so I'll do this side first, and then I'll keep it on. I'm gonna keep it up afterwards. After I paint it, I'll keep it for another, I don't know, another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so that it get the proper temperature in and it could adhere to the metal properly. Okay, I'll be back. All right, boys and girls, I'm gonna take you along for the ride. I'm going to stir the paint and then watch me. You will watch me do this, put it that way. All right, boys and girls, you can see I made sure that I hit every spot, and it looks relatively good. It's very thin. It's not a very thin, sorry about the noise, but it's a very thin cap that I put on there. This isn't rust, that's just dust, believe it or not, but it's on there. Now I'm gonna hit this spot right here. All right. It looks really good for what it is, right? This, you can't tell, but that's not rust. That's just dust at the top of it. I don't want to put it on top because I know it's going to end up peeling off regardless, so I don't want to waste any product. So I'm going to go to the other side over there, where it was a bit more rust, because it was a bit more rust over there because that door was driver's side, and we really didn't have anybody with me for the most part. Just my son, and he went in the back seat. When I drove this car, he was a lot younger, so he couldn't go in the front, which he can't now either. So long story short is I got a little bit more rust on top of the pan on this side as opposed to here. I did cover it up here just to keep everything uniform, but not for any other reason, okay? So I'll let this side dry for a good 15-20 minutes with the heat on, and then I'll hit it one last time. You're supposed to put at least 2 coats on it. It goes on really, really thin, but it sticks extremely well. So we'll see how good this product works. All right, so I'm gonna put you right here, and I'll do the other side. And then I'll be seeing you guys till the next time. I don't know what I'm going to work on next time, but I don't think I'm going to put the carpet in yet. Reason being is I'm waiting for the weather to break a little bit. And if I'm down enough, I might even just throw in the engine and the transmission just like this. I have to make a hole in the hump right there for the transmission for the stick shift. As I told you guys before, I'm converting it to a manual transmission. And the only concern that I have at this point is, that master cylinder right there, booster that is, might be in the way, because I know somehow that's supposed to exit the firewall, the lever, or the, for the clutch pedal. It goes connected to a rod, and then the rod pops out of there on the firewall, and I think that booster is in the way. But I could be wrong. But I'll soon find out when I start putting all this back together. I have the exhaust right there. I have some other exhaust that I got. It's thicker than that one. I think that's 2 inches right there, and you can see the bottom of it a little bit. I'm trying to zoom in, but this thing won't let me. There you go. I have another exhaust system that came out of a Camaro, and this has similar dimensions as, you know, they have the same frame and the same setup as this car. From my understanding is these vehicles, they share the same platform to some degree. I think the Camaro is a little bit shorter base, but they have the similar front subframe on it. You know, those people that know about these Nova Camaros, Trans Ams, Firebirds, you know, let me know. But I know this was supposed to be like a grocery getter, but the styling is, you know, nice on it. Obviously I have it for a reason. When I was growing up, I saw a lot of these cars, but I saw even more Firebirds, you know, Flying Chickens and Formulas, and that's basically what we're doing now. Say that again, Mijo? Yeah, let me just finish painting on the inside. I'm almost done. All right, boys and girls, it's about 15 minutes after the second coat. Very shiny stuff, and it looks like it's gonna set out really nicely. I'm gonna leave it up for another, I don't know, 15 minutes, just so that it could adhere properly. And you know, whenever you put this stuff, you know, it's basically going to go very thin. I know why that stuff's expensive. It's as good as it supposedly is. You don't need a lot of product. You don't use a lot of it. And yeah, so basically, you will not use a lot of the product. You will not use a lot of the product. But yeah, it looks good, man. It looks good. I'm letting it heat up a little bit more. This brush is basically garbage already, because, you know, these, unless you use, you know, thinner, which I don't have. So you know, it's okay. It's made in China. All right, and I'm gonna let it dry a little longer, like I said, and just let it go. But this is gonna be the end of this video. The next step is to find the front piece to the. I'm still looking for this piece out here for the balance. So I have the grill laying in there, facing down. But what I'm missing is the metal piece that goes underneath here, between the bumper and the grill. Is a plastic piece, and I already have it. I painted it already. I don't want to put it in. The reason why I want to put it in is because I don't want it to crack again. And then there's a metal support, like I said, that goes underneath. And I'm going to get it. And once I get it, I'll walk you through the process of putting it back, everything back in reverse. I have a video already that I started when I took it apart. I didn't record when I did it, but I just showed how I started taking it apart. You know, bits and pieces of it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next. I'm going to finish putting the grill and all the different components that go in this front together, and then once I do that, I'm going to move into putting this these motor mounts in. And my idea was to put the engine and the transmission in together. It would be easier. It's supposed to be the same distance as TH350 Trans, and that's, I think, what had this car. This is what it had, but it was a 2-speed, so I don't know if it was a Power Glide. It must have been a Power Glide transmission, but I think they're all the same size, but I'm gonna soon find out. The reason why is because I want to make sure that I have the right drive shaft for it, and I don't want to, you know, obviously get another drive shaft. If I have to, I'll get it, you know, but I have the drive shaft out there already, and it's the same 350 motor in the sense of the dimensions. So the only concern would be the distance between the, you know, the manual transmission versus the, you know, automatic tranny. And I could always measure them before I drop it in, but I think it's gonna work out okay. All right, so thank you for watching my channel. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like my content. This is Big Tony, Big Tony's Garage and Metal.